When you start getting to that level, you're looking for cheat codes. You know, you're looking for bending rules. Like when, Tom Brady, when he says, when it was at a flat gate, I can throw a little harder with just a little bit air out. It's just I just need a little bit.
Welcome to the No Chill Show. I'm joined by All-Star, three-time All-NBA player. You know him for his hot takes and a fresh haircut I gotta throw in there.
Yeah, I got it like a couple days ago, like three days ago.
Gilbert Arenas.
How you doing? What's happening? Welcome back.
So we have to start this off, Gil. We're in the no chill layer.
Yeah.
Because we all know it's a time that, studios are closed down and offices and whatnot, and there's no place to go to. So we said, all right, we'll have our own little setup here.
Yeah. Usually I don't, let white people, inside
I'm
my
very
home.
privileged.
I had to make an exception for the rule. You know what I mean?
It's funny, they let me right in the gate, though.
I know, because but since I'm black and I'm a black owner, we try to keep you out of here. Mm-hmm. But you're different.
I'm honored. It's rare company. And speaking of company, we have returning to the show. We did an episode on the court at your former school.
Yes, sir.
Heritage Christian. So Skyy Clark, welcome to the first edition of the No Chill Show.
Sir, happy to be here.
All right, so to set up for Skyy, you're in a bit of a transition now. So this is your sophomore year ended, I guess, as school over officially?
I guess so.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. But the season was over. Okay, so we can just pick it up off that. So you're at Heritage Christian here in North Hills in California. And then let's just run through the resume, Gil. All right, 25.5 points per game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals as a sophomore. All right, also you were Max Prep's All-American, first team All-CIF here in California, first team All-State. How many sophomores were on that list?
I think it was me, Kejani Wright. I think that was it.
Okay, so it's a short list.
Yes, sir.
You said all state? Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay.
All right. Were you ever All-State?
Nope.
Okay, moving on.
Keep it moving.
Moving on.
I don't know what I was just a scorer.
MVP of the Olympic League, 2-time Player of the Week, and a member of the Team USA Junior National Team. I don't know I know what my roster was.
Hey, listen, my roster didn't look like that. I can tell you that. I was Player of the Week in my conference a couple times. It's just a week period. It's just, woo, okay, baby, I got a superstar right here. Okay.
So let's just say the bar is a bit high.
Yeah.
All right, when we have Skyy here on the couch. And also some news a bit about you is you're moving to Nashville, Tennessee.
Sir, Tuesday. Driving the country.
Oh, you're driving?
Yeah.
Ooh. Family road trips is the funniest. You got to record it.
Yeah, nah.
Because it goes from happy to annoying to angry to back happy.
So are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Like you go through all these emotions on the car ride because you just have nothing to do but talk.
That's facts, yeah.
So you got to record it just so you can look back on it.
Nah, that camera definitely gonna be
Yeah, I
up.
can't just hold it. Yeah.
But when you get there, you'll be going to, when school's back in, you'll be going to Brentwood Academy.
Yes, sir.
Outside of Nashville.
Yes, sir.
And who went there before you?
Darius Garland.
Okay.
Plays for the Cavs.
Okay.
This is a bit of a system there. Obviously, Penny is there at University of Memphis. There's a lot going on in Tennessee. I guess the first thing we have to settle here with Skyy is a nickname you have. It came from someone, the next Hibachi, someone here in the room. I don't know, how does it feel to have that over your head now?
Hey, it's an honor.
Yeah, because it wasn't my nickname, it was just a phrase. So you see the resume, boom. It's his nickname now.
But for you, also, Hibachi, the story there is it was a frame of mind.
Yeah, it was a frame of mind. It was, as athletes, just period. You need things to motivate you. You need things that keep you going. To be a great anything, you have to learn how to not get your emotions too high or too low. Just try to stay balanced and on target. Don't worry about shots being made. Don't worry about shots being missed. So when I was struggling a little bit, like if I started off 2, I just talk Hibachi, get the Hibachi. So when I did hit it, I can be 1 for 20. That one shot, the Hibachi's on. And I just go. And it just gave me the confidence that, okay, it's on fire. You know what I mean? So, it was just like one of those things that try to get you motivated during the games.
Mm-hmm.
Simple phrase for that is also the zone. You can relate to that. So for you, you've been in moments like that where it's just everything's clicking. As you said this before, Gil, it's like you just hit all green lights. So what does that describe that when you're in that zone?
It's just, you just disappear really, and then some just takes over. In the playoffs, second round, we played Mission Viejo. It was a tough game. I was going for a layup one time on fast break, and this big dude, like 230 pounds, trucked me, and I went sliding 30 feet into a wall, and I had a cut on my shoulder, and then there's a huge fight after. And after that, I just blacked out, and then I went for 48. And so, yeah.
Blacked out, took you into another place.
Yeah.
Like, what I've noticed, I thought I had a great work ethic. Like, it's like, when you watch Jordan, you hear about the work ethic. Kobe, you hear about the work ethic. But today's youth, you guys put more training in than we did. How much you weigh?
200.
That was my second year in the NBA, bro. It was so funny. That's my second year in the NBA, and I was bigger than all the guards.
We got to talk about his gene pool, though. His pops played in the NFL. As a football player, body playing basketball. There we go.
But I'm just saying, if you think about it, like, he's a high school kid at 200. I'm in the NBA second year, and I'm one of the big guards. So you can see the difference.
Yeah.
So, like, go through your work. Like, when I talk to you dad, like, what y'all doing? They be like, yeah, man, we just came from here. We're about to go here. After that, we're about to go there. I was like, nah, so you ain't coming over? Like, nah, man, Skyy ain't gonna be done till about 11 o'clock tonight. I'm like, God.
Yeah, it really be like that, But when school is in session, before school start, I do a 6 a.m. workout with, it was with John Lucas. I get out of school at like 11, and then from like 12 to 1:30, I go to Mamba Academy, do strength and conditioning. And then at night, get another basketball workout in for like a good hour and a half. Then me, ZZ, my boy Trey White, we play one-on-one for like 2 hours.
Just listening to it, that was NBA workouts.
Thing I want to get into is Skyy's evaluate him as Agent Zero, looking at the next Hibachi. What do you see in Skyy as a player?
I remember I was telling the kid, I said, if you dropped him in the NBA right now, he's gonna hold his own, and he's a high school kid, because he's gonna weigh the same as most of the NBA players. Like, the shifty, his reaction is phenomenal. From there, it's just playing, and that's what he has the skills. So he's NBA ready right now. It's like, now you just got to get through those. You got to get through your junior year, your senior year. Some kids they're NBA players. Like, he's an NBA player. He's not a college player. So now it's just, staying motivated, staying, on that road, on that path. You got to remember, no matter what your success is now, there's somebody behind you. You got to remember, just like me training, there's somebody watching you doing it earlier. You know what I mean? So, if you started in the 8th grade with this, someone's starting in the 5th grade. So you have to always look at the future and behind you, for that motivation. Treat it like the NBA, right? You got LeBron James, you got KD, but then you got players like Luka, who comes in second year, look at him. He's right there with him. You know what I mean? Then you look at someone like,
John Morant, yep.
Look, a rookie coming in, look at him. You know what I mean? So there's, they're not paying those guards who's elite didn't know some little 16-year-old 3 years from now is going to be trying to take my spot. Nobody knew Trae Young was going to take my spot in the NBA.
But hold up, Gil. Skyy, what do you see as the common thread between Luka and Trae and Ja? What's the common denominator there?
They just know how to play. They just put the ball in the basket.
But they're dogs. Yeah, they came in with a chip on their shoulder,
Yeah,
not looking for anyone to give them, special privileges where they went and took it.
Exactly.
But yeah, your work ethic already shows that you don't need special privileges. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for a kid to wake up at 6:30, you know, you have 3 workouts per day. I mean, that already says what type of player you're trying to be. You know, like no one has to push you. Your willingness to be great already, you know, shows right here. You just gotta stay the course and just keep looking behind you, keep looking in forward to see, you know, and just gauge, you know, because I always tell people, I said, when you make it to the NBA or the professionals, you lose sight of the future. And the reason you lose sight is you're so used to, you got your offense, right? I got my offense, I'm the man in my offense. I'm working on stuff, you know, inside my offense. You know, I'm gonna work in this move, this is where I'm gonna get the ball. And the concept of evolution is not reaching you. Because you're in a gym, zoning out, doing the things that you know, and then when you come, and that's why someone like Michael Jordan go against Allen Iverson, and he gets hit with a crossover twice. He never seen it before.
Exactly.
What was that? You know, that's why, you know, you see Luka with a simple bounce, you know, bounce forward, cross, and he keeps shaking the shit out of everybody. Same thing with Trae Young. Throw it between your legs. Because these guys are not seeing the youth.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not seeing you guys with all these new moves coming in, so the first time they see it is the first time you hit them with it. And so by the time, like, oh, he hit me with that, write it down, I'm gonna work on it in the summer. You done worked on a whole new move. You know, so the older players are far behind all this youth coming up. So you just be mindful, when you get to that level, invest in AAU and these young kids for moves.
ZZ be hitting me with some stuff.
Like, where'd you get that from? A little 8-year-old did it to me. I'm like, wait, what?
But also, do you feel that you have a ways to go, right? There's not just what you have right now is just gonna stay the same. You got to keep adding to your.
Oh yeah, no, I always know. I always remain humble.
What are you looking at now? What are you focused on?
Mainly my IQ, my jump shot. Those are like the 2 biggest things. But I really just, whenever I'm in the gym, I try to get better at everything. Even when we play ones, I'm working on defense and just know when to attack, how to attack. When I play defense, I think like, I got this from Avery Bradley. I think like I'm an offender. On offense, you wanna dictate what the defense does, and on defense, you wanna dictate what the offensive player does. So that's what I try and do.
Have you actually written down your weaknesses?
Nah.
Do you know your weaknesses?
Yeah, I know my weaknesses.
Oh,
yeah.
do you you have your weaknesses that you know, and then you got game weaknesses, which you won't know until you watch game tape, where you're videotaping yourself playing and then watching, like, man, why did I didn't take him? And then, because, you know, when we play, we naturally stay in our comfort zone, and then we go off a reaction. But there's things that we stay away from that we don't know. Once you start climbing, remember, to be a full-bodied, you know, Superman, you got to clean up everything. You know what I mean? You got to clean up all the weaknesses to perfect that whole, you know, I can tell you, like, if you look at some of the NBA players, you can see he's still doing the same old, but when you get there, even in college, when you get there, you got to remember, every year you want to clean up something. You know, clean up, it's just, think of it like, I'm, 16 now. By 26, I got 10 years to get rid of 10 bad things that I'm doing. I don't need to get rid of it all right now. I got 10 years. Every year I'm going to clean something up, and that's how you approach your game, and that's what I learned later on. That I don't have to go in there and try to hurry up and try to, work on all these things. Like, nah, I'm going to clean up my left hand this year. I'm going to work on. So everything I'm doing, I'm going to, stay dominant the whole summer on my left hand. Next year I work on this, and you just build.
The thing here is, Gil brought up game film. Do you watch a lot of that?
Yeah, during the season, I try to watch a lot of game film. Usually I have Coach Greg or Frank come by, and then we'll go over like a game or two and like different scenarios of what I could have done different and what I should have done. So yeah.
So how do they get that to you? Because in Gil's day, it was a VHS tape. Like, they got it, but it's just, you have it, you can study it yourself, basically.
Yeah, there's an app called Huddle. That's like the main app everybody uses. And yeah, that's like all the game film. It's easy to use. You can write notes and everything, and you can like take out certain clips and put them into like a little folder or something so you can just pull stuff up.
There's two things that happen when you watch game film, right? First of all is you notice what you do nice. You know, like, I can't believe I got that shot off, or that was smooth when it went in. But also the things that you recognize that are like deficiencies or things that you could do better, which is, I think that's the more important thing to focus on.
You know, it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish in game tape. Like if you're watching it with your coach, you guys are watching game tape on team type of things. Like, oh, see, he came up here, you see the open man there, you know, you did this shot. You know, you have that type of, you know, or you can just watch game tape for the highlights to keep yourself good, which just make a highlight tape. When I watched highlight tapes, I didn't watch my defender. He was irrelevant. You know, with enough moves and speed, he's out of the way. I watch tape for the 4 and the 5 man. That's it. I wanted to see how they play defense. Because, you know, once I get past him, I wanted to see how smart these guys were. Like, what were their weaknesses? Were they jumping bigs? Were they stand still bigs? Did they give me the lane? Did they take charges? So that's when I watched game tape, it was only on those two players. Because I want to know what his help is. You know, so, you know, same thing with you. Like, with your skills, the player who's guarding you is irrelevant. He's just... Now I want to see who's the best, who's the help defensive, who can jump, like, you know, and that's where you start watching tape. Your tape is different because you're watching games that already went by.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, upcoming games. So it's a little different, you know, you just got to prepare different, think different. But, you know, when you're watching tape, it's just mechanics of just basketball itself. Where's this ref sitting versus that ref? Where is he at behind me? So he's on my left shoulder. This guy is in this way. And you look for blind spots, do a little tricky. Like, you know, and that's where when you start getting to that level, you're looking for cheat codes. You know, you're looking for bending rules. Like when, you know, Tom Brady, when he says, you know, when it was at a flat gate, you know, I can throw a little harder with just a little bit air out. You know, I just need a little bit. You know, it's just one of those things.
Well, that's the crazy thing at that level is the small details that are the advantage. But just want to rewind for a second for what Gil said, that first defender is irrelevant. Translation on that is you're not worrying about them as much as because you have 4 defenders behind you.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Come again?
The defender in front of you can pose a challenge.
He doesn't pose a challenge because he's sorry compared to my offensive skill. That's what I'm saying. So compared to his offensive skill, the person that's standing in front of him sucks. So he needs help. What does the help look like? So technically, it's move him out of the way. I'm going against those 4.
So translation is I can take on all 5 of them.
Technically, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Just making sure that
was usually the thought process.
But the other thing about game film too, I think at the NBA level, because you're seeing the same guys over and over and over again. Whereas now you got to watch the film for yourself because you're kind of changing, you know, every time you're changing to a new opponent and a new challenge.
And
at the development level of high school.
Yeah, you know, in high school, you know, you guys get the highlights. So you guys know each other better than everyone else because you have Instagram, you have social media, you know, so you're gonna see the highlights of what this player can do. So you can gauge a little bit on what his true skill is. You know, versus you just see a name in the paper. Okay, he averages 35, and like, him? Oh, he looked terrible. You know, that we don't know how good a player is until we get to the layup line. And you can gauge from the layup, look at what the swag look like in the layup line. Yeah, he don't look like he done, coach, don't even worry about him. Like, you know, so, you know, now you get the advantage, so you get to prep more, but high school is having that hunger first. Like, just understanding that this is what I want to do. You know, some people, they're big, so yeah, you're supposed to play basketball, you know. Some people don't want it. You gotta love and say, you know what, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. And then once that clicks in your brain, getting better becomes easier. You know, like,
that's facts.
And I tell kids, listen, the cars, the money, that don't even worry about that. If you do your job, what you love, enjoy, have passion for, that is irrelevant because you're gonna have so much of it. You know what I mean? So it's like now just like getting my life, like, all right, this is what I do. This year I'm trying to accomplish this. This year I'm trying to, and you just set little goals. 2 month goals, 1 month goals, 6 month goals, 1 year goals. Because they're easier. So like, all right, in 10 years, like I used to hate when people say, where you gonna be in 5 years? I don't know. I was just trying to get some McDonald's. Like, you got $1.99 for it, bro? Shit, like, talking about 5 years from now. I used to hate it. 5 years, you gonna be this. Like, I'm pretty sure 5 years ago you didn't think you was gonna be a teacher. Shut up.
But the truth is you don't know where you're gonna be literally in 5 years, but you can have some goals to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
in 5 years you wanna be, all-star, all-NBA, champion, all the above.
Mm-hmm. And it's like one of those things is like you're at that age where, like, what's your goals for this upcoming season?
Definitely state championship. That's the biggest goal. And Gatorade Player of the Year.
See, there we go. Gatorade Player of the Year. See, that's something you can accomplish for yourself. How good is your team?
We good.
Oh, you got some boys over there?
We set.
Okay. Got some little boy. Oh, see y'all doing it. See y'all over there recruit like y'all going to state.
Redwood Academy. To have that goal of a state championship is the point of it is learning how to win. It's just to know that you can deliver in clutch moments, that you can put a team on your back or make your teammates better, all of the above. And I think as far as a goal goes, that's measurable. How far do we get?
Yeah, I just see a lot of you. I just see now, the younger generation now is taking their success more into their hands versus everyone else. Like I was watching, you've been watching The Last Dance. Mm-hmm. And the narrative they keep saying is, Bulls couldn't get over Detroit. Bulls had to learn how to get over Detroit, this and this and this. And the narrative is exactly how it should be. The Bulls themselves can't get past Detroit. So the Bulls themselves, as an organization, have to get better pieces to beat this unit. Have you noticed that's not the narrative anymore?
Yeah.
Narrative is like this one player, like, oh, yeah. Like, but wait a minute, you ain't got nobody here to help me. It's just me. Like, I can't do this by myself. Mm-hmm. So it's like now, it's like there's no ownership on the organizations to get better. So when a player leaves and say, hey, I need to go, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to be a winner. You know what I mean? That's what you judge me on, to be winning. So I want to go win, and we can go from there. Mm-hmm. So, to see that, kids are like teaming up, because, back then we didn't. I wasn't on a team that, we wasn't good enough,
Well, wait a minute.
But now it's AAU. It's like that's the difference part. It's like the AAU players are now going to the same schools.
Right, so it's the other thing. You, in high school experience, you were a one-man show for the most part, all right?
One-man city show.
Wrecking crew, whatever you want to call it. College, let's face it.
One-man show?
You had two other NBA draft picks?
Okay, it was 4 McDonald All-Americans on my team, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
And then, but how many NBA, okay.
And then
Richard and Luke.
Richard, Luke, Michael Wright, and Lauren Woods.
Okay. And then you get the NBA. In DC, you had 2 other All-Stars. So what I'm getting at here is what happens when you have a team of other talented, high-level players. That's a whole nother challenge. How do you get all those egos and those personalities and those skill sets together?
But you learn that from AAU, though. See, and that's what I'm realizing, like your AAU success has now trickled into high school basketball. Like I'm seeing kids that we play together in, travel ball. They recruited us. We had so much fun. Now it's like, I want to go to, where you live, California? Mom, let's move. And you got kids moving
to Tennessee.
States. Yeah, you're moving states to play with your team. And that's that's the most amazing part. Because, me and Dunleavy, Me and Michael Dunleavy, we played, AAU, was it 3 years together? Never once thought about playing on the same team. You know what I mean? I'm recruiting from the park. Hey man, you want to come over here and play at the Grand, baby? Never thought about pulling my AAU play because he lived all the way in, Portland.
Yeah.
So now, it's like the dedication of winning in you guys' generation is just so, like, it's just.
Skyy,
I wish I thought of that.
So let's go to Brentwood in Tennessee. What's your focus with the teammates that you're going to now play with and, kind of what you guys want to accomplish as a team?
Just being a leader and bringing them together, getting us all on the same page. They already shown love. When I went there to visit, I went to a high school game and the student section started chanting, "We want Skyy." After the game, players took me and Izzy to go eat, and then now we're on a little group chat. And so we just been already building that team bond, and then once you get there, just continuing that.
What I want to get into next is the comps, all right? So how we can describe Skyy is 6'2",
Yep.
6'3", with
6'4"
with the hair. If you
6'4" a good day.
200.
Yes, sir.
And you describe yourself as a combo guard. Which is,
Bro.
I was gonna say he was in that. He was in that
Combo guard
category.
was when I play. Right now, you a point guard, bro.
I consider, everybody labels me as a point guard, but in highlights, they don't really put my full game. But if you watch full game highlights, my passing is just as good as my scoring. So I label myself as a point guard.
Steph Curry changed that. It changed that. Before, when I played, it was combo guards, ball hog guards. When Steph won the championship, averaging 30 with 5-6 assists, they let that tag went out of the way. You're a point guard, period. Now you're a point guard that just has better tools than some two guards. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Before, you had Avery. Was it Avery Johnson? Yeah, he dribble around the court and do this. Now,
Game manager.
Now you have a guy who can give Avery Johnson 400 points again. You know what I mean? I want the 400 versus Avery Johnson. You know what I mean? And that's just, so you're a point guard that if you need me to take over, trust me, I'm willing. If you need me to get somebody else the ball, okay, fine. You know what I mean? And that's just the thing. So don't let nobody label you as, like, CJ McCullough is not a two guard. He's a guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he wants to be the point guard, he can be the point guard.
Exactly.
Luka, he's
I think he's a point guard.
whatever you are.
Exactly,
Whatever they done broke that mode. Once someone won a championship in that style, they finally let the tag go.
You mentioned Luka, you mentioned CJ. Who are some guys that you think Skyy should be watching right now?
Kemba Walker, just his movements when he's trying to go somewhere versus his reaction. Obviously, someone like Kyrie, you say you want to work on your jumper a little bit more, so you want to watch Steph and Dame just learning that how do they get their shut off in, small spaces. You know what I mean? And that's what I said, it's like what you're trying to look for. It's not, I don't want Steph's game, because you're like, I'm not that type of player. Just because he's a jump shooter, what is he doing first to get that jump shot off? How is he making people back up when everyone knows he's going to shoot a three? Same thing with Trae Young. Everyone knows he's going to shoot it, but what is he doing? What is the setup for him to keep getting that shot? So you're just watching setups, like, okay, I want to work on getting to the basket like Westbrook. So you're just watching Westbrook's setup. I want to watch, okay, what is he doing? Okay, he gets in that cat-like mode, like, right when he's getting ready to attack, he gets slow and bursts off. Okay. And you watch it from that aspect instead of saying, oh, I play like CJ, so I'm gonna just watch a whole bunch of CJ. Like, nah, you're trying to take, you're trying to make a sandwich.
Exactly.
You got the bread, you got the lettuce, and that's how you try to build your game. You just watch and take in, because you gotta remember, like I used to say, there's no such thing as a bad player. If they're in the NBA, they're gifted at something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gifted at something. So you want to see what that gift is, and I want to add it to my game. Okay, I like that first step. I like that 1-2 that was a nice little crap dribble. Let me go in. And you just, like I used to watch and take highlights from Jamal Crawford. Never did a Jamal Crawford move in the game. But what I realize is how he shifts people, like how he fakes the, I'm gonna go here to come back to the screen, and just watching the movements he did. So when I wanted to do it, I didn't do it like him, but I just know, okay, I'm gonna just fake that way, go and do it my way. But just watching how he he keeps shaking the shit out this guy on the pick and roll. Like everybody know he's gonna go away, and I see it. He goes to it, goes, and then comes back, and it's like, okay, I got it. And that's what you're picking up from these people.
Who else are you watching? We named a hell of a lot of guys, but
yeah, some of the main. I watch Kyrie because a lot of people call me Skyy. I got that nickname this last year.
I still like the next Hibachi.
Yeah, nah.
I mean,
Skyy.
Skyry's a cool name.
Steve Nash is another one.
What about
Irving.
what specifically? Because Kyrie, obviously, there's a lot of elements to his game, but specifically Nash, there's a few different characteristics, and Gil
Definitely.
can relate to that.
Just his pick and roll situations and how he handles pick and roll. That's like the main thing that I watched of him, and then his passing, and then Allen Iverson. I watched Steph Curry. I watched Dame. Chris Paul's another one that I love, and then John Stockton, White Chocolate. Just for his flashiness.
Yeah. But see, that's like everybody you named, like from old to new. I'm pretty sure you're watching John Stockton for how he did the pick and roll. Like, he's getting to his spots. Steve Nash, same thing. You're watching those guys for pick and roll movements. What are they looking for? What are they seeing? So you're already, advancing your mind on what to pick. Now when you're just going for detail, it's to find things like, what did he do before he got to that pick? How is this man getting to that pick every single time? How did, to this day, how does John Stockton get to the elbow with a defensive guy right there? Every single time. Elbow pick and roll. What is he doing to get to that? Like, obviously, if I just put this wall, like, how is he and got there? Like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So it's just watching those guys, but at the end of the day, if it's a pick and roll, you still need someone to set that pick just like those guys. So, and you have to teach, this is how you do it. See, when you set the pick right here, and then I come off, your guy got to help. When you roll, boom, I'm gonna pass it. You mine them, so I had Brennan setting real nice picks. Brennan Haywood never got the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you wait for it though. That's the game.
He never got the ball because if he set the pick, obviously I was open.
Exactly.
Okay, but then let's give some game here. When he says, "Yo, when am I getting the ball next?"
So
what was your response, Gil?
No.
I know the answer.
I got outed by Brendan. Right, I got outed one day, so I made this hell of a pass, and it was like, dang, I didn't know you seen me. Brendan said, "Oh no, Gilbert can pass the hell out of the ball. He just refuses to pass, so he plays like he can't see anybody." I was like, oh, he noticed. He noticed. I already have my 5 assists. I wasn't trying to get 10 today,
So we talked about even just right there, you name John Stockton, right to Steve Nash, right to Chris Paul. So there's sort of this evolution of, point guard play. There's evolution in basketball where you had less guys when you were, let's say 20 years ago. I don't know exactly the age difference, but let's say 20 years ago, there were less examples of guys to watch. Skyy has the benefit of more guys, to study from. So, even that, knowing that the game's gonna evolve, so you're watching these guys, how can I do it better? You're taking those things.
Yeah. Just pretty much trying to do what they do and then do it better, and then seeing what they do best, and then trying to add to that, and then trying to bring something new to the game.
That's the key that you got to always take with you on every single level. Like, it's wrong to say this, but every coach you're going to face from going, most of the time, none of them have the credibility to tell you what to do because they never played, at high levels. They're coaching off black and white, never gray area. And gray areas are what's made. Those I played in the Princeton, but those type of systems don't work for everybody. You know what I mean? You still need people who have creative minds. So no matter where you go, you listen to your coach, but you got to always keep your creativeness open. Because once you start closing it, all that extra, creativity goes out of the window. So, and that's why, the youth has better moves than older. I guarantee if you take high school kids and college kids and put them in the NBA dunk contest, they can compete.
Yeah.
Because they're creative, the things they're doing, like the things that they're doing in high school games, you have never seen in NBA games. Because our creativity wasn't, once we got there, it's closed. We didn't, all that behind the back in the middle of the game. And, I seen somebody go through the legs in the middle of traffic.
That is Greg Brown's?
Yeah, in the traffic.
Yeah.
I think there's only one person who went between the legs in a game in the NBA was Ricky Davis. And that's in 2002.
Did he miss that one?
No, he made it.
I remember there was one.
He missed one, but he made one.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the only person that's actually did the East Bay in the game. 20 almost 20 years ago.
That's facts, yeah.
So you did it in college.
Huh?
Kid did it in college.
But I'm saying in the NBA, but think about NBA, all these, all these, you have one guy, he was just rogue. He's a rogue player. He just, his creativity was just open. Most important, keep your creativity open. Just, no matter what the success is, keep it open. Just, I gotta remember, when you try something, you're gonna be like, oh, look at that. But eventually, hey, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps James Harden so far advanced on his moving, because I'm not gonna let the naysayers tell me that I ain't gonna tell me what I can do.
That's facts.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing, as we mentioned before. It's just where you are now is there's always things you can add. There's always ways you can evolve. There's things you can just experiment with in the lab and get better. And we're back. What we got to do is we got to turn the tables on Gil here, Skyy. So it's time for Ask Agent Zero. So everything we've been talking about, I know you guys have a bit of a history here. So what would you want, any point in time, in Gil's career, what would you want to ask him that applies to yourself?
Pretty much what was your why? What made you get up every single morning, 6:30, get in the gym, get up 1,000 shots?
Oh. Probably it was my freshman year. Went to Birmingham High School, and I was okay. I don't know if do they still have B's and C's, Frost and Soft basketball?
I never heard of that.
So
yeah.
I was better than them, so I made the JV.
Oh, yeah, they got some schools we have, yeah.
Yeah, so I made a JV, but I wasn't playing on the JV. So, just like any freshman, eventually, soft senior. And then, when I talked to the coach, about, you have that end of the year meeting. And then, yeah. And then, when I got you're not gonna make this team, but it's because I went to the school where at that time, they were the Sierra Canyon type of school.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously, I wasn't gonna. But when they leave, I could be freshman, And then it was so I got so disappointed that I never wanted to feel how I felt anymore. So from there, I remember I spent, I had a summer job. I was working at City Walk. I was working at City Walk as a rock climber instructor, right? But I
don't even know how many kids fell off that wall.
No. I only worked for 2 weeks. I only worked for 2 weeks to get enough money so I can buy every single DVD it was NBA Jam Session, NBA Ankle Break. I bought all those, and I just said it was Kenny Anderson, Tim Hardaway. I couldn't dunk like Robert Pack, but you had the Robert. So you had all these guys, that year, and I'm just studying, just watching them, and I did not want to go to sleep because I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be playing JV. You know, I'm on JV, but this is JV mine. I'm gonna be playing JV next year. Like, I'm gonna be starting. Like, I don't care. Like, I know he started this year, so I'm sitting here like every day training to be on JV. But you know, this was no varsity. That was my senior year. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm thinking. My senior year, I played. So I got so determined to prove him wrong. That I turned into something that I didn't see and another coach had to see. Like, yo, hey, hold on, you going where? JV. Well, you know, if you try out for my team, we have varsity tryouts. And then the kid, it was so funny, the kid was from Tennessee, and we was trying out for that starting position point guard. And it was no, like, if you would have played 4 months before, I was never in this league. But because I zoned out, waking up, playing at the park 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, and I got so obsessed with proving this man wrong. And then my first season, they held the ball against me. Like, you write it on the calendar, yeah, I just had like 28 against this team, had 27, I'm coming to you, and it had 11.
For real?
But it was 11 because he held the ball the whole game.
They didn't have a shot clock?
No, they didn't have a shot clock. Put the 4 corners in. That pissed me off so bad that I trained so when I see him again next year, and this obsession with proving him wrong, and then eventually, like, I remember I'm going to Venice Beach. Like, it was just, the obsession became because everyone said I couldn't do it. I remember I'm playing against this dude. I wasn't even playing. I'm at Venice Beach, like around 2:00, all the studs get there. So, when you're a freshman, sophomore, back then, freshman, sophomore, you wasn't really, because these was the older guys, or these college people who could have made it pro, but they were knuckleheads. So you got dudes like literally coming in, like Vince Carter jumping. So there was a guy named Sidney. He was on a couple of Nike commercials, flying. Like, he was like the Michael Jordan of Venice Beach. And I remember, like, I finally got on the court with him. This is like my junior year. Like, I'm nice. What you talking about? But you don't come in here. And, he picked me apart, came, dunked, pump faking, threw it. Like, damn. And then I was like, man, I don't care about that. I'm going to Arizona next year. The laughter that this man gave me, the laughter was so, like, it was like it took my soul out. He laughed like, Ludo did not recruit you, bro. So, what are you talking? And he laughed. It was like a little kid, like he's like, yo, like, get out of here. The boy just lying, like, and I'm like no, I'm in my mind, I had a second guess, like, no, I did sign the letter, and I'm going to Arizona. Ludo, yeah. And he just made me feel so bad. I walked off the court. I've never been to Venice Beach back since. Went in the gym, I told my coach, I don't think I'm ready for Arizona. This man just laughed at me. Said, I'm not, and I just went in and that's when, like, 3 days, 4 days in my junior, senior year. And I just thought about, like, it was just the laughter that he said. So when I got to Arizona, you already have, like, oh man, am I ready? And then once I got that first taste, like, oh, you're horrible. Oh man, but I put so much preparation in because of the fear. And it's like, once you open your eyes and you get to that moment, and you realize, and that's what drove me. It was the fear.
All right, so there it is. There's your why. There's your answer. You're leaving here with a backpack full of information.
Yeah,
a
whole lot.
A lot to take on to Brentwood Academy. So, Gil, let's wrap this thing up. Time for You Gotta Remember.
Gotta remember.
There's some takeaways here for you, Skyy. So first of all, we said watch your weakness. The importance of studying game film and looking not just at what was nice, but what you can improve on. And actually, that'll just make for better game film. We also said the importance of camaraderie in the locker room. You know, if we talk about leadership, is to understand that we're all different personalities here, but we have the same goal. We ride together, we die together.
Exactly.
So that, I think that's another goal of yours is to win. So that's enough right there. And then third thing, Gil, we said was to never stop creating. No matter what a coach tells you, of course, there's the X's and O's and there's the strategy and the scouting involved, but you stop creating, you stop playing.
Yeah. Your creativity is everything. I mean, it's when you're out there, you're a painter. So if someone tells you can't paint the Sistine Chapel, if your mind, you know what I mean? If that's what you think you can do, and someone says, no, you can't, then you can't. It's one of like if I'm Michael Jordan, I'm laughing. Even though I became a 6-time champion, I'm laughing from that first episode. Like, well, even the Bulls, well, we wish he was 7 foot. And then someone's like, well, I hope Michael Jordan don't think he's gonna coming in changing the guy. It's a big man's game. Yeah. And just to, we're gonna see. Just to see, that's what makes me happy. Like, he proved y'all all wrong. He proved y'all wrong.
Yeah. That's what makes the ultimate winner is to always find a challenge, and to keep raising the bar. So I think you're on that path, Skyy. Gil, the first edition of the No Chill Show.
With the youth.
We thank everybody for tuning in.
Skyy Clark, watch him.
Watch out for him.
Be afraid of him.
Watch out.
He gonna hit you with that. With that, you know what I mean? He got that body. He shook me up a couple times. I ain't gonna lie. I hope there's no film of that. I hope there's no film of that.
We need to dig up that game. I'm sure Kenny has it.
What's so funny is
Marsville's got that.
I got mad. You know how in your mind you think you still got the moves? So I thought I still had shit, and I just realized doing some old man shit. But I was over here doing grab legs and all kinds of shit. Just cheating, trying to compete. That was funny. I got bopped. Yeah, I was getting bopped. I ain't gonna lie. That's when I knew. I was like, I just put you on my team like 4 years ago, bro, out there. Shooting the threes, had little 4 threes, and now you're out here 4 years later just shaking that shit out of me.
That's a question I should have asked. You should ask him about that, how to feel to get.
That was so funny. Is every year I always talk shit. Yeah, I've been working out this year.
Every single year.
And then I watch him like,
yeah,
I don't even ready to put my ice packs back on, get my ass back in that car. I ain't ready for this shit no more. But so funny is, that was the thing. Like, people like, get back in the NBA. No. You don't see what them boys just doing? I'm getting killed by the high school right now. I'm getting killed by the high school.
All right, there it is. The No Chill Show. First edition. Fubo, you unleashed a monster here. We got
Thank you, Scott.
plenty of game to come. Stay tuned every Monday, 8 o'clock. Agent Zero, Skyy Clark, Mike Botticello. Everybody be good.
Yes, sir.
Get to wear my sandals, my house. Yes, sir.